What's up, everybody? This is the solo Chronicles. We're back at Hiestand Park today. We're playing red to B pin positions. Hole number 1 is 240 feet uphill. Slight hyzer shot, so you can kind of see one of the baskets up there is straight in the gap between the trees. This one's going to be about 50 feet to the left of that. I'm going to throw a Missy Gannon Undertaker off the tee. Should be a nice easy hyzer. I saw it off a little bit. Of course, I just got out of the car and I'm getting ready to play, so I hit the tree in front of the basket and it rolls away. So I'm left with about 50 to 55 for the first birdie look of the day. It's not really the spot that I would like to be in this hole. Sometimes you got to make the best with what you're given. Cash in a nice birdie putt there to start the round. And we're -1 after 1. Hole 2 is 281 straight, and there is quite a few guardian trees between you and the basket on this one. There's nothing tricky about the hole once you get past the first line of trees. I'm throwing a DGA Proline Squall. I really like the release I got, but I just ticked one of the guys in the line, same one that I always seem to hit. And I'm about 60 feet over to the left, short of the pin. I don't have a look, so I can't really go for this one. So I'm just going to chip up, playing just to take the 3 there. And you can see you just got to step aside of the tree a little bit, and maybe 10 to 12 feet in for par. So hole number 3 is a tricky one to film. This one is 400 feet, but it's way downhill. So you can see there's a ditch beyond it. Yeah, it's really hard to see the basket. So basically I'm aiming out towards those large bushes at the end of the ditch over there, kind of by the concrete on the right side. I'm going to throw a Yuli Raptor, hoping that it's stable enough that it's going to bring me back over to the left as it goes downhill. I really like the release on this one. It ends up in a pretty good spot, but I'm past the pin, 25, 27 feet maybe. Which really, in all honesty, I'm going to take that 9 times out of 10. Putter's finding the basket today. DGA steadies are hopefully going to be going in. Hole number 4. We got 250 feet. It plays uphill kind of on a shelf. So you can see there is it's flat, and then the increased hill, and then flat on top of it. And that blue basket's sitting right there in the center of that flat part. Now I'm going to throw a 2018 MJ Comet, this is like my go-to disc. The line was exactly what I wanted. I could have used it 2 or 3 more feet of height on it. So I'm left with another putt that's right around circle's edge. Extending the hand out, which is always important for me. Cash the birdie, so we're 3 down after 4. Which is as good a start as I could really want, going into hole 5, which is a tricky 328. It curves sharply to the right at the end, and it's also uphill. So I'm going to throw a 168Z Undertaker. It's a little bit lighter, so I can get some more turn on it. I want to keep it going right past the big tree there on the left, and you can see it just fading out. So I should be able to chip up. You can see got a really nice frame up of the Hiestand wall on this signature hole 5. And we're just going to throw a little chip up hyzer with a DGA steady. Only a few feet left. Easy tap in. Not a bogey. Easy to get a bogey on this hole. So hole 6, I did not film it, but film the sign, but I was really excited about trying to frame this shot up. It's about 250, turns left to right, and you want to go inside the one big tree right there that's got the gnarly trunk on it, and granite steady, and turned it perfectly in the gap. I'm pin high, about 12 to 15 feet to the right, and we've got another 2. So 4 down after 6. Really good start. Really good start for me. Hole 7 is a tricky 207-foot blind shot. It works back over to the right, and it's also downhill. I have not been throwing forehands lately, and this shot reminded me why I should still not be throwing forehands, because that did not feel very good. The shot was okay. I just pulled it a little bit wide and hit a tree. So again, if I'm in a position like this, there's a lot of danger away from the basket, so I'm just going to put it up underneath the basket, take my 3, and move on to the next one. There's really no reason to run it. So hole 8 is a steep 300-foot uphill shot. It's really hard to catch on camera how far this is uphill. I've got a Proline Flex Hurricane, Shasta Chris Hurricane, and what I want to do is throw it flat and get some turn up the hill. I decide to hyzer flip it instead, so I'm going to end up way left. I'm going to be left of the red basket, which is actually on the left side of the fairway. This is another one of those spots like the last hole where it's just the position that I'm in, I can't try to run it. So the best thing I can do is just chip up. Yeah, maybe try to make it there a little bit. But chip up, take the 3, and keep moving. Hole 9 is 278 feet. It's kind of a tricky shot because you've got a low ceiling. It's slightly uphill. So you've really got to hit the proper height to be able to carry all the way into the green. I usually like throwing a mid-range on this because I can err a little bit more and not get in as much trouble. But you see there, I didn't get it very high off the ground. Now I'm left with about 45 feet. Just the basket is sitting on a ridge, and there's an immediate drop-off behind it. So if I have any doubt in my mind stepping up to one of these, that's what you're going to get. I'm going to pitch it up, again, take the 3, cut my losses, and go to the next hole. And the next hole is hole 10, which is 359, a left to right shot. And as it works right around the corner, it goes downhill, it tails off downhill the whole way. So I've got a Proline Squall. When I let go of this, I really, really liked what the disc was doing. It did exactly what I needed to. It drifted slightly to the right, didn't fade hard. And I'm left with about 20 feet, but my feet are above the top of the basket. So my thought is try to make the putt and not go past it, and all my brain heard was don't go past it. Second frustration putt there, because it's like really just you're standing above the basket and you can't even get it there. So hole number 11, we're playing to the C pin on this one, so it's actually 277 feet. Just want to take a little extra time to say hi to my butterfly friend there. So you can see the split V tree down there, and I'm going to take the right gap. Some people go out wide left with an anhyzer or forehand. I like to take the straight gap because when you get it, it's almost a guaranteed 2. And it's really hard to not get a 3. Got my 2018 Comet again, and I just missed the line by a foot. Maybe a foot or 2. So I've got about 70 feet left to the basket, and just throw a little baby spin putt pitch up right underneath it. Again, cutting losses, taking the 3, going to hole number 12, which is a tricky, short 210 foot, but pretty steeply downhill hole for something that's short. I've got a granite steady, and I'm going to throw a turnover backhand I would prefer a forehand here, but we're not. That's not an option right now. So I really like the angle I had out of my hand, and it just tails off and fades out. And anytime you're fading out straight on this hole, you're going to end up probably in the bushes somewhere. I was lucky enough in this instance to have something. A lot of times you don't even have a look. But I had something here at least that I could look at and try and make. And I do make it. And that's a bonus for me from that spot. That was close to circle's edge from a knee with a little bit of stuff in front of me. So hole 13, 250 feet, very straight. Not much trick to this one. I've got my granite steady again. Put a decent move on it. I thought maybe I was going to draw metal. It looked closer than what it was just because the red basket is like directly in front of the blue one. But you can see that I don't have much distance left here. 12 feet tops. 5 steps for me, and that's about 11 or 12 feet. So hole 14, 259, out the gap and down the hill. And it's pretty straight. This is a pretty reachable shot for a putter also. Again, working the granite steady. Really nice throwing putter if you can get a hold of one. I thought that one had a chance to go in, but I ended up being a little bit long and ended up to the left of the pin. So I've got a little more work cut out for me than I expected. Probably 20 feet. And I just lifted it a little bit too much. So there's a little second frustration putt, just reminding myself that, hey, look, you can make this putt. I've done it 1,000 times before. So I'm going to tap in for a 3. Kind of a disappointing 3 there, but we're off to hole number 15, which is one of the other signature holes on this course. It's 319 feet downhill. You can see it over there on the right of the clearing, down at the bottom. I'm going to throw a Comet again. And what I want to do is throw it pretty flat and have it work back over to the right. But this is the second time where I decide to just hyzer flip the shot instead, and it goes dead straight. So I'm not going to end up with a very good look over here. I'm probably in the outside 10 feet of circle 2. And it's a low ceiling, and I didn't really have much of a shot to make that one. But at least so far through 15 holes, no 4s. No real bad mistakes. For me, that's a plus. I usually find a way to make a good one. A good bad mistake, I guess. I don't know. Hole 16. It's 292 feet. It is a blind shot that works right to left. And the left is pretty sharp. So you can see the thick bushes down at the end of the fairway. And I'm throwing a Uli Raptor, trying to get there and hook up hard left. And those are a little bit straighter than what I intended. Probably should have thrown a regular Raptor. So I've got about 65 feet uphill. No real reason to run this one either. But I'm going to try and chip up and in. It was a halfway decent effort, but really all I was trying to do is put it next to the basket so I could take my 3 and go on to hole 17, which is 236 uphill. The uphill is fairly steep, and you can see the basket sitting between those 2 trees at the top of the hill. The dream is to split the trees and get an ace. This was a pretty promising shot, and I hit the tree on the right side. It wasn't going to be an ace, but it was going to be awful close. So this is what I'm left with for 2. And again, leaving that hand out there and making sure the putter gets over the rim of the basket. Something that I've really been focusing on. And the last hole, hole 18, 262. downhill. So the pin is actually on the left side. They swapped the pin positions from last year when they made the new signs. And I've got a Granite Steady again. It's a really good flying putter. I'm really enjoying throwing this one. I've got a good shot at it. I'm down past all the stuff on the left. I'm going to have to step out to the right of this tree just to make sure that I can get a good look at the basket. And that's a really good finish right there. No bogeys, 8 down. Would have liked to have done that at League earlier this week, but hey, you know what? Conditions were different. Today's a new day.